episode.
Why the hell is that turret so goddamn strong?
What turret are you talking about, dog?
That turret dealt like 5 damage per second. Per second! What the fuck?
What the hell? All right, what's up, my listeners, and welcome back to Grit and Greasy. I'm Isaiah, your grease-stained guide to all things automotive. Today in this episode, folks are gonna be talking about the toughest jobs, the dirty, sweaty, downright frustrating tasks that come with working in the shop. And whether it's wrestling with rusted bolts or cleaning up after a blown radiator or dealing with seized brake calipers, we've all been there. Stick around because I'm going to share some tips to handle these challenges like a pro. Maybe throw in a story or two about my own battles with worst of the worst. Let's jump in. Let's start with the elephant in the room. All changes, yes, they're basic, but they can also be messy as hell when you've got a stripped drain plug, filter stuck so tight you need a damn breaker bar to get the son of a bitch loose. But let's not forget about the oil that always seems to find your sleeve, no matter how careful you are. Here's my tip: prep your workplace, have your tools, rags, and oil drain caddy ready before you touch the car. If the drain plug feels stuck, don't force it. Grab the right tool to avoid turning a simple oil change into a drain pan replacement job. Pro tip: I'm gonna give you a tip. And if you got a stuck, stubborn filter, try wrapping a strip of sandpaper around it before using a wrench. That extra grip can save you a lot of frustration and keep you from investing in inventing a new swear words. So that right there will save you. Now, if you do need, like I mentioned in my last episode, you want to have a good oil filter wrench, pliers wrench to be able to get it loose. Next up, for all the rusty and seized parts, a text, worst enemy. If you worked in a shop anywhere that gets snowed, you know what I'm talking about, the rusted bolts, seized calipers, those exhaust systems that crumble like stale bread. My first recommendation, if you're in the Rust Belt, is to invest in a good penetrant spray like PB Blaster or liquid rinse. Spray it, let it soak, and give it time to work. If that doesn't work, heat, doesn't do it, heat is your best friend. A propane torch can loosen up a lot of stubborn parts. But remember, safety first, keep a fire extinguisher handy, and don't get careless. Another lifesaver is an impact wrench. If you're still using hand tools or on rusted fasteners, you're working harder, not smarter. For those bolts that are too far gone, learn to love the bolt extractor kits. Like, bolt extractor kits are a game changer. And one thing I want to talk about, let's talk about one of my least favorite, messes is coolant. It's like the shop's version of glitter. Once it's spilled, it gets everywhere. And if you're dealing with a blown radiator or a heater core job, always have a spill pan. Use drip trays, funnel coolant to proper containers, and don't forget to clean up immediately. Letting it sit on the floors and just messy, it's dangerous. And there's grease in these and then there's the grease, CV axles, wheel bearings, U joints. All that leaves you wondering if you'll ever get clean again. Here's a secret: mechanic soap and knit roll gloves. Double up on gloves if you're doing something particularly nasty. Keep a box of disposable towels nearby. Trust me, your hands and your laundry will thank you. So this next little time, the hardest part of the dirty jobs is the mess. Keeping your cool, nothing test your patience like a job that seems to fight you every step of the way. My advice, for you young techs who are just getting into this industry that is starting with that, step back, and breathe. If you're getting frustrated, take a 5-minute break, regroup. Sometimes a fresh perspective is all you need to figure out a better way to tackle this problem. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Some shops are a team environment, and there's no shame in calling over a co-worker to brainstorm or lend a hand. You'll learn faster and avoid turning a tough job into an impossible one. And before we wrap, I want to share a little something, folks, with y'all. One of my favorite mechanics that I watch on YouTube, Eric O, South Main Auto. He showed a particular Ford Taurus with a front wheel bearing that was bad, and he showed some very good tips and tricks on how to get the wheel bearing off. AJ, sorry if I'm bothering y'all.
Oh no, it's fine. I came up.
Yeah, and matter of fact, Eric showed us the way to get the rim, the wheel and tire that was stuck to the vehicle off. And one thing that I did learn, I learned from Eric is, more tips and tips and tricks from old school mechanics. And if y'all want to see some old school, a lot of rusted junk and shit like that, go check out Eric O South Main Auto LLC on YouTube. Um, Eric's a really good, upstate New York rust belt mechanic. And he's got a lot of good, tips and tricks on his channel that he can show you. So, and one thing I want to warn you about, folks, especially in the rust belt, and you're gonna be if you're changing, if you're replacing a rusty, fuel tank strap, only to have the entire strap snap. And if you're doing that, replacing the straps on a fuel tank. But one thing I'm gonna tell you is that the importance of always supporting the tank with a jack, with a floor jack. That way, that way, it's safely,
AJ, go to game channel for a bit.
that way, it's safely, safely, supported. Um, that way you don't get hurt. And that's what I love about this community. That's what I'm gonna love about this community. We're not afraid to share our mess ups, so the next person doesn't have to make the same mistakes. So here's my final thoughts for today. The dirty jobs are the part of the grind, but they're also where you learn the most. Stay patient, stay safe. Remember, every greasy, grimy day in the shop is a step toward becoming a better tech. Thank you for tuning in to Grit and Greasy. If you've got any stories, questions, or just want to rant about your workshop mess, hit me up on social media. Until next time, keep it greasy and keep it real. Say,
Hi, Chloe.
hey, Chloe.